approaching the 427. Eastbound 401 delays approaching the 427 to approaching Dufferin, alternating both express and collectors. And then it gets busy again east of the island to approaching the 404 DVP, again alternating express collectors. Eastbound QEW, no access to the highway for northbound Guelph line. That ramp blocked by maintenance. And then we're still seeing delays approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie. Eastbound Gardner, long-term construction, Dufferin to Strawn has you down to 2 lanes from 3. It's busy from South Kingsway. Westbound Gardner, same thing. Strawn to Dufferin, drivers down to 2 lanes from 3, and that's causing a backup from Young. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates, Chartered Professional Accountants. Visit markfeldstein.ca, markfeldstein.ca. Your next report at 3:41 with your forecast, Denise Andriacci.
A guaranteed high of 0 today. Conditions have definitely improved when it comes to temperatures. Now, we are mostly cloudy, slight chance of very isolated flurries. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet day. The models have really changed from a few days ago. We were expecting a bit more active weather to wrap up the weekend and start the work week, but other than a chance of showers Monday, we'll see some sunny breaks and highs near +3. Today's guaranteed high, 0. Right now in downtown Toronto, +1 overcast. Feels like -3, the same at Pearson. 680 news time, 3:33.
Ontario votes 2025.
It's the last weekend of campaigning in the provincial election with just 4 days to go until Ontario chooses its next premier. PC leader Doug Ford is back in Northern Ontario today visiting Sault Ste. Marie. He's expected to release the party's fully costed platform tomorrow, becoming the last major party to do so. The Liberals and NDP released their platforms on Friday, and the Greens were the first party to release theirs back on February 12th.
NDP leader Maud Stiles is in Ottawa today with stops in Peterborough and Bowmanville. Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie also focusing on Ottawa after a morning stop in Kingston. And Green Party leader Mike Schreiner is in Elora with a local candidate. Even though advanced voting is over, you can still cast an early ballot at your local election office until 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening. The provincial election is Thursday, February 27th.
680 News Time, 3:34. The Liberal leadership race is wrapping up with candidates set to square off in back-to-back debates tomorrow and Tuesday.
This week will be the first and final time that the Liberal leadership candidates debate each other. All eyes will be on frontrunner Mark Carney, who is leading in polling, endorsements, and in fundraising. How good is his French? Can he think on his feet? And can he wow a crowd? Debates are done and dusted. Early voting begins on Wednesday, with the final vote held just a week and a half later on March 9. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Pearson Airport has resumed its normal operations after nearly a week of cancellations and delays following a plane crash on one of its runways.
The fiery crash last Monday led to days of travel disruptions at Canada's busiest airport. But an airport spokesperson says the number of departing and arriving flights that were canceled this morning is within the normal range. The spokesperson also says the runway where the plane crashed has reopened, and a final cleanup is underway at a second runway that was also closed after the crash. It's expected to reopen soon. All 80 people on board survived, and the Press Toronto.
680 News Time, 3:34. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is set to mark the somber 3-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine by meeting with the country's president in Kyiv. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed the meeting at a news conference this morning. Trudeau is set to join a summit of world leaders in Kyiv, which comes as tensions continue to escalate between Ukraine and the United States.
Meantime, cities across Canada are holding rallies at city halls, museums, and community centers today as part of a global day of action marking 3 years of fighting.
Rallies are planned in cities including Halifax, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vancouver, all to be held today. The demonstrations of unity actually began yesterday in several cities across the country, and a handful of other cities have rallies scheduled for Monday. Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, 2022, in a major escalation of a conflict that began in 2014. It has been described as the largest and deadliest conflict in Europe since the Second World War, causing hundreds of thousands of military casualties and tens of thousands of Ukrainian civilian casualties. Rob Westgate, The Canadian Press.
680 News Time, 3:36. The Vatican has provided an update on Pope Francis's condition following a health crisis yesterday. ABC's Marcus Moore reports.
Doctors say his prognosis is reserved And we hear from Vatican sources that he is undergoing further tests today and that he continues to use oxygen therapy. Now, this morning, he released a personal message that he's confidently continuing treatment at Gemelli Hospital, and he thanked the team of doctors, adding that rest is part of his therapy.
The latest update shows that the Pope is in early kidney failure.
6 City News Time 3:37. A winter warm-up could lead to messy driving conditions throughout the work week. 6 City weather specialist Denise Andriacci says temperatures in the low single digits could lead to a few showers Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday, along with that potential for mixed precip. Areas north of the city and through northern Durham, we could see more of that snow. So we are going to keep an eye on the radar. Tuesday, there's a chance of some spotty showers late morning and early afternoon. But it's Wednesday that we see some widespread mixing, and then again that potential for a few centimeters of snow Wednesday north of the city. Denise says temperatures will drop again for Thursday, with the first 2 weeks of March expected to see highs below the freezing mark.
6 City News Time 3:38. A man found sleeping in a vehicle in Waterloo is now facing more than 40 charges in a stolen vehicle investigation. Waterloo Regional Police say officers near Portsmouth Gate and Westvale Road saw someone asleep in a white Ford F-150 around 3:30 this morning. Officers say the man tried to drive off, hitting 2 police cruisers before officers used a conducted energy weapon against him. Police say they later discovered the man was impaired and was wanted on 2 warrants in Guelph. The vehicle was also found to be stolen. The 40-year-old from Kitchener is facing 43 charges, including theft, drug, and dangerous operation.
6 City News Time 3:38. After a win at home last night, the Leafs returned to the ice tonight in Chicago against the Blackhawks. 6 City's Brandon DePaul has the preview.
It was a game of history for the man who wears the C last night, and there will be hopes of making even more tonight. Captain Austin Matthews scored a goal last night, marking his 389th career goal, tying Daryl Stiller for second on the all-time goal list in Maple Leafs franchise history. So Matthews will definitely be eager to put up a ton of shots in order to get that goal tonight and move into sole possession of second, as well as inch closer to the leader on that all-time goals list, another legendary Leafs captain, Matt Sundin. The Blackhawks and Leafs played today for the second time this season, with the Maple Leafs winning 4-1 in the previous meeting back in December. Tonight, Joseph Wall will go between the pipes for the Leafs, with Arvid Soderblom getting the start on the other end of the ice. Puck drop is at 7. You can hear the game on Sportsnet 590. I'm Brandon DePaul.
And coming up, your gas price update. 6 City News Time 3:39.
When you're working out at Planet Fitness, it's a judgment-free zone, so you can really step up your workout. That's why we've got treadmills. And our team members are here to help, so you can be carefree with the free weights. There are also balance balls, bikes, cables, kettlebells, and TRX equipment. But, no pressure.
Get started at Planet Fitness for $1 down and then $15 a month. Offer expires February 28th. $49 annual fee applies. See Home Club for details.
And now the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Anchor predicts the price will not change at midnight, holding at $1.53.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up, traffic and weather together. 6 City News Time 3:40.
Looks like I'm staying in this weekend. Again. Not me. I'm going to be working on my tan. What? It's freezing out. Not down south. I got a great deal from South Vacations, and there's one for you too. With fun packages up to 50% off to Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, or Jamaica. No wonder you've been in such a good mood. Hard not to be when I'm headed to my happy place. Give winter the cold shoulder and save today. Contact your local travel expert or visit. Have you heard of Astrogel? Astrogel? Yeah, I just got a prescription. Astrogel. What's it for? Well, I'll tell you after the meeting.
Astrogel, brought to you by Organon. Talk to your doctor and visit astrogel.ca.
It's the memory of them at the door, helping you with your shoes, reminding you to be brave. Today, you can still hear their voice giving you confidence. AuburMemorial.ca. Every life remembered.
6 City News Time 3:41. Now time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic weather together on the one. Luke Shield.
Thank you, Jonathan. This report brought to you by Air Canada Vacations. New problem westbound 401 at Bayview in the Express. The right lane blocked off by a stalled vehicle. And that stealth vehicle falls right in the middle of all the delays on the westbound 401 from west of the 404 DVP to approaching the 400, alternating both express and collectors. Slows again from the 400 to approaching the 427. Eastbound 401 delays approaching the 427 to approaching Dufferin, alternating both express and collectors. And then it gets busy again east of the Allen to approaching the 404 DVP again, alternating both express and collectors. Southbound 400 approaching Highway 9. We still have that crash blocking the left lane. It's slow from south of Highway 88. Southbound 404 DVP combination delays south of Finch to approaching Eglinton. Northbound side is busy Don Mills to York Mills. And then that long-term construction slowing things down both ways on the Gardner. So first eastbound from Dufferin to Strawn, drivers down to 2 lanes from 3. It's busy from Islington. Westbound side, same thing. Strawn to Dufferin, you're down to 2 lanes from 3, and that's causing a backup from Young. Experience Platinum Yucatan Princess with Air Canada Vacations. Book now and save $200 per pair. Contact your travel agent or visit aircanadavacations.com. Your next traffic report is 3:51 with the forecast. Denise Andriachi.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon. Slight chance of very isolated flurries. Otherwise, we are not worrying too much about the weather today. A guaranteed high of 0 is a nice change. This is seasonal for this time of year, finally, after a pretty close stretch. +3 for Monday with some sunny breaks and the chance of showers. Today's guaranteed high is 0. Right now in Toronto, +1 and overcast. Feels like -3. 680 to 343.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sound of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Stop sitting on your Aeroplan points and get big savings so you can be somewhere you actually want to be, like on a beach. Right now, you can save up to 25% in Aeroplan points when you book a trip to one of 180 plus Air Canada destinations worldwide. So stop sitting on your next trip and start saving on one. Don't miss out. Your chance to save in points ends February 23rd. Book at aircanada.com. Conditions apply.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
Right out in downtown Toronto, we're looking at overcast skies. It's 2 degrees, feels a lot like -3. Good afternoon, I'm Jasmine Raywell.
And I'm Kate Boonley. Here's the breaking news this hour.
It's the last weekend of campaigning for candidates in the upcoming provincial election on Thursday, as party leaders hit every corner of the province trying to court last-minute voters. And while advanced polling stations closed yesterday, you still have the option to cast an early ballot at your local election office until 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. And Toronto's Pearson Airport says operations have returned to normal a week after a Delta plane crashed into a runway, causing flight suspensions and delays. Pope Francis remains in critical condition after the Vatican confirmed he suffered a respiratory crisis yesterday. And now time for sports from Sportsnet 5. Now the fan, Brandon DePont.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. The Leafs will want to keep the good times rolling after the Four Nations face-off break and make it 2 straight wins since as they visit the Blackhawks tonight in Chicago. Leafs come into this one after a strong win last night on home ice. Meanwhile, Chicago drops an ugly one by 4 goals. Puck drop is at 7 tonight. You can catch it on Sportsnet 590. A busy day in the NHL with a trio of other Canadian teams in action. The Canucks are in Utah for a date with the hockey club. The Flames host the Sharks, and the Oilers, they fall hard to the Capitals. This one already done and dusted in Washington. It is 7-3 in favor of the Capitals. And with the big storyline here, Alexander Ovechkin completing a hat-trick in the game versus the Oilers, and now he is 13 goals away into the all-time goals record held by none other than the great one, Wayne Gretzky, at 895 career goals. So just 13 goals away. Will he do it? Will he not? We shall see in the weeks ahead. Now, in women's puck, the Scepters, they are in Minnesota at the moment, taking off against the Frost, and both teams coming into this gun at all tied up for second place in the standings and at 29 points. However, it is the Scepters going ahead in the third period with about 8 minutes left. Scepters leading 2-1 right now. The difference maker in this one, that being a goal that's being from Emma Malte in the second period, rather late in that second period, rather a third period goal, the difference by Jesse Comfer, that being a shot on number 35, Matty Rooney. So again, Jesse Comfer getting the goal there as the difference maker so far in this one against the Frost. Again, still about 7 minutes left to go in that third period. The Blue Jays, they are continuing their spring training today against an AL East rival, Boston Red Sox. This one not going the way of the Jays. It is entering into the 9th and final inning. The Red Sox, they lead 5-2. You can catch the rest of this on Sportsnet 1. The Raptors trying to get their first win since the NBA All-Star break as they host the Phoenix Suns at Scotiabank Arena. Tip-off at 6 tonight on Sportsnet 1. And lastly, at the Scotty Tournament of Hearts, Nova Scotia's Christina Black and Manitoba's Carrie Aronson are all square at 8 in the semifinal. Now in the 10th end, the winner will play defending champion Rachel Homan in tonight's final. Sports 15:45, past every hour anytime at sportsnet.ca.
With Bonnie Crombie, it's always more. More taxes, more costs. We pay HST, income tax, business tax, carbon tax, property tax, tolls and fees. And now, a new tool like an RST. I want to bring that...
Retail sales tax?
Oh, yes. With Bonnie Crombie, it's always more. More taxes, more costs. And we get accused of raising taxes. And I say, yes, we do. More for her, less for you. Authorized by the CFO of the Ontario PC Party.
At iCare Appliance Repair, honesty and integrity are guaranteed because we know that trust doesn't get a second chance. iCare won't recommend replacing parts that don't need to be replaced, and you never pay for an unsuccessful repair. When our technician comes to your home, rest assured they're highly trained, certified, insured, and have a clear background check. Call iCare and you'll reach a team member, not a call center. No one cares more than iCare. Google iCare Appliance Repair or visit icarerepair.ca.
680 News Time 3:48. Black plastic utensils could be harming your body. Eva Francescatos has more with food and nutrition expert Rose Reisman.
If you've got a black plastic spatula or ladle in your kitchen drawer, get rid of it. Rose Reisman says they contain toxins that can lead to cancer and neurological damage.
The origin actually comes from recycled electronic scrap that's been contaminated with flame retardants, and then it's mixed with food-grade plastic.
Reisman says silicone utensils also contain toxic substances and should not be exposed to high heat. She says we should instead opt for wooden utensils,
which withstands high heat. You've got to clean them well because they can hold bacteria, but that's the only downside. And ultimately, I love stainless steel. It withstands high heat cooking. It doesn't leach any chemicals.
When using stainless steel, she says to be careful as it can scratch non-stick cookware. I'm Eva Francescatos.
680 News Time 3:49. Catholics in Argentina are sharing their support for Pope Francis as he remains in a hospital. In the Pontiff's hometown of Buenos Aires, Francis, the city prays for you, was projected across the obelisk, the city's most famous monument. Francis is the first ever pope from Latin America, though he has not returned to his home country since being appointed to the Catholic Church's biggest role in 2013. Back home now, 3 teenagers have been arrested and 1 suspect remains outstanding after an attempted robbery at a Waterloo jewelry store. Waterloo police say it happened at Conestoga Mall around 6 last evening. 4 people wearing face coverings and carrying duffel bags went into the store when they were allegedly confronted by the security. Officers say they attempted to run. An 18-year-old, 17-year-old, and 16-year-old boy from the GTA were arrested. The 4th suspect allegedly drove off. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Up next, traffic and weather together.
This is the best condo value in Mississauga from the 400s. You get a designer kitchen with a spacious balcony, with high ceilings, with a private locker, with an indoor pool, with 5% down, next to the Hurontario LRT. Now you can buy an affordable condo in Mississauga with Liberty Development. Time is running out. Register at Liberty Condo Living. That's libertycondoliving.com.
Comparing options for new windows and doors? Don't take some fancy-dancy celebrity's word for it. Nordic Windows and Doors are neighbor approved. Yep, regular people just like you. Teresa from Guelph got 6 quotes from different window companies. Holy smokes, 6 quotes! Then Teresa called Nordic. They went above and beyond and helped her stay within her budget. Nordic Windows and Doors are neighbor approved. Make Nordic your pick. Get started at NORDIK.com.
680 News Time 3:51. Now time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic, weather, and together on the one. Luke Shield.
All right, Chaz, and this report brought to you by by Ecotech windows and doors. Still seeing this problem on the southbound 400 approaching Highway 9. The left lane blocked by a crash. It's causing delays from south of Highway 88 and pretty heavy delays at that. Southbound 404 DVP, speaking of delays, it's slow moving from south of Finch to approaching Eglinton. Northbound side of the DVP, delays Don Mills to York Mills. Westbound 401 at Bayview in the Express, there's a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane. Some good news though, west of Dufferin and the Collectors, the snow removal that had the two right lanes blocked is cleared away, so all lanes have once again been reopened through there. But we're still seeing heavy delays on the West 401 from west of the 404 DVP to approaching the 400, alternating both Express and Collectors, and again from the 400 to approaching the 427. Eastbound side of the 401 slow approaching the 427 to approaching Dufferin, alternating Express Collectors, and bunches up again east of the Allen to approaching the 404 DVP, alternating both Express and Collectors. Eastbound QEW, no access to the highway from northbound Guelph line. That ramp blocked by construction. Still pretty slow moving approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, and there is a crash at Mississauga Road. It's blocking the left lane. And new problem eastbound Lakeshore approaching BC Road. There's a stalled vehicle there also blocking the left lane. Save up to 50% at Ecotech windows and doors. Pay no tax or don't pay till 2026. Quality and comfort you can trust and afford. EcotechWindows.ca. Your next report at 4:01 with your extended forecast. Denise Andriachi.
A mostly cloudy day today. 0 is our guaranteed high, and that's seasonal for this time of year. We have a slight chance of some pop-up wet flurries. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet wrap-up to the weekend, and temperatures are back to where they should be for this time of year. We're up to 3 degrees for Monday. Sunny breaks with the chance of showers. Low-impact shower activity possible Tuesday late morning and early afternoon. We will see widespread mixing likely for Wednesday and Thursday, but also there's chance of just rain showers for some areas, just some light snow for others, because this is going to be very temperature dependent. Whereas the city center might be sitting at 3 degrees Wednesday, we could be around 0 in Newmarket. So we are going to keep an eye on the radar Wednesday, Thursday. That's where we could get into, again, mixing, slushy, maybe some icy conditions as well. Today's guaranteed high, 0.
And right now in downtown Toronto, overcast, 2 degrees, 680 news time, 3:54.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Bellier Brothers. Receive up to $5,000 with the home efficiency rebate that includes a Train heat pump. Visit BellierBrothers.com.
Discover more value than ever at Loblaws. This week, get a whole chicken for just $1.99 a pound. Hurry, offer ends Wednesday, February 26th. Shop in-store or online today. Conditions apply. See flyer for details.
Looking for a Hyundai? I'm your guy. It's the reopening of Rexdale Hyundai. Experience the all-new, state-of-the-art dealership. The largest inventory. Need an oil change? Just drive up. No appointment needed. Visit RexdaleHyundai.ca today.
No more at home. Ask your smart speaker to play 680 News Radio Toronto.
680 news time, 3:55. U.S. Defense Secretary is defending Donald Trump's decision to fire the country's senior military officer.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on Fox News Sunday that there's nothing unprecedented about President Donald Trump firing Air Force General C.Q. Brown Jr. as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
The president deserves to pick his key national security and military advisory team. There are lots of presidents who've made changes.
Brown was just the second black general to serve as Joint Chiefs Chairman, with 16 months in the post. Hegseth says the dismissals of 6 3-star and 4-star generals on Friday are a reflection of the president wanting the right people around him to execute the national security approach we want to take. Retired General George Casey, who was commander of U.S. and multinational forces in Iraq under Republican President George W. Bush, calls the firings extremely destabilizing. Donna Warder, Washington.
And coming up, business.
Buying a home in the GTA can be stressful. Choosing the right agency is your first important step. At Modern Solution, they make buying and selling a breeze. Say goodbye to hefty commission fees with their 1% listing fee. That's right, 1% without compromising outstanding service. Plus, receive $5,000 when purchasing a home with one of their highly experienced agents. Join the thousands of clients who trust Modern Solution Realty. Be sure to check out their Google reviews and visit modernsolution.ca.
Riding a bike in the Ride to Conquer Cancer is like being part of
Comfort.ca.
And now time for business.
I'm Chris McCusker. It's easier than ever to buy Canadian. Some stores are even posting signs now on products. And when it comes to websites, you should be looking for the .ca. Adam Eisner is Vice President of .ca and Registry Services at CIRA. So what is CIRA?
CIRA is basically a national not-for-profit known for managing the .ca domain extension on behalf of all Canadians.
So if a website ends with .ca, what does that mean exactly?
To have a .ca domain name, you need to have a connection in Canada, whether that's a Canadian citizenship, permanent resident status, being a corporation, or a number of other categories. Hypothetically speaking, a company that has offices in many different countries, if they have one in Canada, can set up and operate a .ca domain name.
And two other points here.
Proceeds from .ca domains sold are reinvested into the Canadian internet community through our Net Good program. So we've invested more than $13 million in hundreds of community-led internet projects. So you know when you buy a .ca domain name that there is an investment going back into the Canadian internet community. And then we do publish many different things geared toward purchasing Canadian. So, you can go to cira.ca/gifts and see our 100% Canadian business gift guide.
Adam Eisner is CIRA's Vice President of .ca. That's CIRA, C-I-R-A. And with your weekend business report, I'm Chris McCusker.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Canada, a land so vast, it's connected by something deeper than roads and rivers. It's connected by our voices and stories. In 1960, Ted Rogers had a dream to build something truly Canadian. With one radio station in Toronto, he set out to connect a country known for its distance, but defined by its unity. News Radio is proud to carry that legacy today. Amplify your message with true Canadian media. Visit RogersSportsAndMedia.com. Your trusted news. 680. News Radio Toronto.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it's overcast, 2 degrees, feels a lot like -3. Similar conditions over at Toronto Pearson. 680 News time, 4 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
Good afternoon. It is Sunday, February the 23rd. I'm Kate Woodley.
And I'm Jasmine Graywall. Here's what's making news right now.
The race to Queen's Park coming to a close this week as Ontarians head to the polls Thursday. Candidates are out making some last-minute promises.
After days of delays and cancellations after the Delta Airlines plane crash, Pearson Airport says operations are back to normal.
Pope Francis now in early kidney failure as he battles a lung infection in hospital.
Unity rallies for Ukraine are planned for across Canada as tomorrow marks the 3-year anniversary of the Russian invasion.
Matthews and the Maple Leafs face off against Bedard and the Blackhawks. The Scepters battle lacrosse. Spring training game number 2 for the Blue Jays, and the Raps look to get back in the win column versus the Suns. Sports at 15.
680 News time, 401.
Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the one. Here is Luke Shields.
All right, Caitlin, this report brought to you by Ecotech Windows and Doors. New problem on the southbound 427 at Langstaff. The 2 right lanes blocked by a vehicle fire. Emergency crews are on the scene. And just a couple feet past this, there is also a collision just south of Langstaff. So it's still unclear whether this collision may have been the cause of this vehicle fire or not, but this collision, this car that was involved in this collision is also off in those right lanes that are blocked by that vehicle fire cleanup, as again, it's just that vehicle fire, as it's just a couple feet south of that vehicle fire on the southbound 427. So 2 problems right in pretty much the same spot at Langstaff and then just south of Langstaff. So just be careful as you make your way through there. Crews are on scene working to put out that vehicle fire cleanup. They're also there assisting adjusting with that crash just a couple feet south of the vehicle fire. We still have delays on the eastbound 401 approaching the 427 to approaching Dufferin, alternating both express and collectors. Slows again east of the Allen to approaching the 404 DVP, again alternating express collectors. West 401 at Bayview in the express, still that stalled vehicle blocking the right lane. And it's still slow from west of the 404 DVP to approaching the 400 alternating express and collectors, and again from the 400 to approaching the 427. Northbound DVP delays Don Mills to York Mills. Southbound 404 DVP still slow moving south of Finch to approaching Eglinton. Westbound Gardner, there's a stalled vehicle west of Jameson. It's blocking the right lane. And eastbound Lakeshore approaching British Columbia Road, we still have that stalled vehicle again blocking the left lane there. Save up to 50% at Ecotech windows and doors. Pay no tax or don't pay till 2026. Quality and comfort you can trust and afford. EcotechWindows.ca. Your next report at 4:11 with the forecast. Denise Sandriachi.
A guaranteed high of 0 today. Conditions have definitely improved when it comes to temperatures. Now, we are mostly cloudy, slight chance of very isolated flurries. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet day. The models have really changed from a few days ago. We were expecting a bit more active weather to wrap up the weekend and start the work week, but other than a chance of showers Monday, we'll see some sunny breaks and highs near +3. Today's guaranteed high, 0.
And right now in downtown Toronto, overcast to feeling like -3. 680 News Time, 4:03.
Ontario votes 2025.
There are just 4 days to go until the provincial election. Candidates trying to rally support from voters. PC Party leader Doug Ford speaking to those in Northern Ontario today with a campaign stop in Sault Ste. Marie. Ford is set to release the PC Party's fully costed platform tomorrow. The PC is the last major party without a full platform. The Greens were the first to release theirs on February 12th. The Liberals and NDP following on Friday.
Green Party leader Mike Schreider is spending the day in Elora with the local candidates. NDP leader Marit Stiles and Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie are both focusing on Ottawa. Crombie started the day with the morning stop over in Kingston, while Stiles is also making stops in Peterborough and Bowmanville. The election is Thursday, February 27th, and even though advance voting is over, you can cast an early ballot at your local election office until 6 Wednesday evening.
In federal politics, the race to replace Justin Trudeau as leader of the Liberals ramping up. Candidates will square off at back-to-back debates. That starts with tomorrow's French language debate. The English debate set for Tuesday. Carbon taxes and U.S. tariff threats are expected to be the hot topics of discussion. Frontrunners releasing their policy pitches. The debates come just days after the party announced it eliminated MP Ruby Dalla from the race. She's the second candidate to be dropped from the running. The Liberals will choose their next party leader on March the 9th.
680 News Time, 4:05. Toronto's Pearson Airport says operations are back to normal. Almost a week after a plane crash sent 21 people to hospital and led to days of travel disruptions at Canada's busiest airport. A spokesperson says the runway where the Delta Airlines crash took place last Monday has reopened. A final cleanup is underway at a second runway that was also closed after the crash, and it's expected to reopen soon. The airline has offered $30,000 U.S. in compensation to passengers who were on the plane that flipped over during the crash landing last week, saying the money has no strings attached. At least 2 people have filed lawsuits. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is investigating.
680 News Time, 4:06. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expected to be in Ukraine tomorrow. The country marks the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion.
This is Justin Trudeau's 4th visit to the embattled country, and it'll be his last as Prime Minister. He'll be replaced as Liberal leader early next month. Trudeau will attend a summit organized by President Vladimir Zelensky, which will involve other world leaders and European commissioners, some attending in person and others virtually. Zelensky confirmed a meeting with Trudeau at a news conference and that the summit will discuss peace, security, and the future. Bill Graveland, The Canadian Press, Kyiv.
680 News Time, 4:06. Rallies will be held across the country today to mark the 3-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Demonstrations of unity are taking place in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Halifax. More rallies are planned for other cities tomorrow, and since the war began, thousands of Ukrainians have come to Canada as refugees.
680 News Time, 4:07. A winter warm-up on the way for Toronto and the GTA. Temperatures expected to be in the low single digits next week. Well, February will end at a relatively mild note after weeks of freezing temperatures and snow. City weather specialist Denise Andriachi says March will start off cold. Thursday, we also have the chance of mixing, followed by light snow and flurries as temperatures drop Thursday night, and they are going to drop. We are in this seasonal zone for a few days only before temperatures get cold by Friday, and the first week of March is chilly and below seasonal. So even though we're somewhat wrapping up the winter season, it's not quite done yet with southern Ontario. We definitely see cooler conditions on the models through the first 2 weeks of March. Today's guaranteed high is 0. It's already reached +1 at Pearson.
6 City News time, 4:07. A man is fighting for his life and 2 other men are injured following a crash on the 401 in Scarborough. OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt says it happened early this morning.
Just after 2 o'clock this morning, the OPP in Toronto were called to a 3-vehicle crash westbound 401 Collectors just past Meadowvale. A vehicle with 3 occupants slammed into the back of 2 blocker trucks that were protecting another collision scene that was just further up the road.
Schmidt says the 3 people injured in the crash were all in the passenger vehicle. One truck was unoccupied and the driver of the other truck was not hurt. The westbound Collectors was closed for several hours but has since reopened.
The Vatican says Pope Francis was able to rest in hospital last night, with an update from officials adding he is still in critical condition, now in early kidney failure. Associated Press reporter Tricia Thomas has more.
This after a very worrisome bulletin last night in which they said he'd taken a turn for the worse, was in critical condition after a major respiratory crisis. He had a long problem with asthma and needed a lot of oxygen. They also said he had to have a blood transfusion because some of his blood tests were showing that he was anemic. The prognosis is still reserved.
The 88-year-old pontiff has been hospitalized for a week battling pneumonia. He was previously reported to be recovering well. Your gas price update is coming up in 30 seconds.
6 City News time, 4:09.
680.
News Radio, Toronto.
At Newboro, we develop unique plans so people can unlock the equity in their home. Unique like this one. It's called the Aaron and Catherine Plan. Aaron was in the middle of selling his small business and wanted to pay off some debt. Truth is, big banks are not too keen on small business. So we developed a plan that was the perfect fit. Because as we see it, you're anything but small. Reach out today. We'll work side by side to unlock the equity in your home. Use your home to get a loan with Newboro. License 13115.
Now the News Radio Toronto gas price update, and for predicts the price will not change at midnight. It will hold at $1.53.9 a liter.
Hey there. Have you always wanted to own investment real estate? Hi, I'm Todd C. Slater, the Simple Investor. Join me on Saturday, March the 29th at 11 a.m. for my free Simple Seminar webinar, where I will be giving away 2 down payments for investment properties that will be fully managed, rent every single month, and no tenant interaction. To find out how simple real estate investing can be, go to thesimpleinvestor.com today. The Simple Investor. We make the world of real estate investment simple.
Shopping local might seem like a tough cookie, but truthfully, finding Ontario-made products is a piece of cake. That's why SupportOntarioMade.ca exists. With over 17,000 products listed, everything from cars to cosmetics, it's never been easier to shop local and support Ontario manufacturers of all sizes. When you choose Ontario-Made, you're supporting your neighbors, strengthening our economy, and celebrating the incredible products Ontario sells with pride. Discover what's made right here. Visit SupportOntarioMade.ca.
6 City News time, 4:11. Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the one. Here's Luke Shields.
Thanks, Caitlin. This report brought to you by TSC. So it's a very busy drive right now across the major routes. Still have these problems, I guess you could call it, on the southbound 427 at Langstaff. The 2 right lanes blocked due to a vehicle fire, and then just a couple feet south of that, there is a crash that's also has those 2 right lanes blocked off. So it's still unsure if the crash caused the vehicle fire in this area of the southbound 427. But again, these 2 problems in conjunction have those 2 right lanes blocked. Crews on scene working to put out the vehicle fire. Crews also on scene tending to the vehicle involved in the crash just a couple feet south of this vehicle fire. So just a mess here on the southbound 427 in the Langstaff area. So just be careful as you make your way through that stretch. of the southbound 427, and there is a bit of a delay just right as you reach Langstaff, but not a very long delay. Eastbound 401, we are still seeing delays approaching the 427 to approaching Dufferin, alternating express and collectors. Slows again east of the Allen to approaching the 404 DVP, alternating both express and collectors. West 401 at Bayview in the express, stalled vehicle blocking the right lane, and then it's busy from west of the 404 DVP to approaching the 400, alternating express and collectors. And then it drags again from the 400 to approaching the 427. New problem on the West 401 at Guelph line. There's a crash blocking the left lane. Northbound DVP, slow-moving Don Mills to York Mills. South 404 DVP, delays south of Finch to approaching Eglinton. Still have this crash on the southbound 400, but the crash scene has gotten worse. So approaching Davis Drive, the left lane was blocked for a crash. It's now the 3 left lanes that have been taken out for that collision, and traffic still moving very slowly from south of Highway 88. Westbound Gardiner, west of Jameson, stalled vehicle blocking the right lane. Before that stalled vehicle, that long-term construction it's causing a pretty slow drive from Yonge, as that long-term construction is in place from Strawn to Dufferin. Same thing on the eastbound side of the Gardiner, Dufferin to Strawn. You're down to 2 lanes from 3, and it's busy from Islington. Eastbound Lakeshore approaching BC Road, there's a stalled vehicle in the left lane. Boost your skincare routine and save up to 60% at TSC on the Foreo Iris Care Bundle or Luna Forgo. Today's showstopper at tsc.ca. Your next traffic report at 4:21 with your forecast, Denise Andriachi.
A mostly cloudy day today. 0 is our guaranteed high, and that's seasonal for this time of year. We have a slight chance of some pop-up wet flurries. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet wrap-up to the weekend, and temperatures are back to where they should be for this time of year. We're up to 3 degrees for Monday. Sunny breaks with the chance of showers. Low-impact shower activity possible Tuesday late morning and early afternoon. We will see widespread mixing likely for Wednesday and Thursday, but also there's chance of just rain showers for some areas, just some light snow for others, because this is going to be very temperature dependent. Whereas the city center might be sitting at 3 degrees Wednesday, we could be around 0 in Newmarket. So we are going to keep an eye on the radar Wednesday, Thursday. That's where we could get into, again, mixing, slushy, maybe some icy conditions as well. Today's guarantee